But yeah, so check this out. I've got a video I want to watch today. Before we get into anything else, guys, do you remember this whole CryptoZoo fiasco? If you don't remember what was going on, basically Logan Paul, NFT side project game thing that he made, over-delivered on promises, over-delivered on taking your money, under-delivered on every single other possible thing. So, it turned out to, you know, be pretty bad stuff. Basically a scam. Logan Paul's been saying, oh, it wasn't a scam, I swear, money's coming. And then it was like, oh, everything's effed. So he said, I'll give you guys your money back. He was going to give $1.8 million back. And this was after a big expose by CoffeeZilla saying, and CoffeeZilla's an amazing YouTuber, by the way. If you don't know CoffeeZilla, we're going to watch his video. He's a crazy cool dude. Really smart man and just doing great work. So he exposed this whole thing before. And guess what? We are some months later, like 6 months later, and doesn't look like Logan Paul's given anybody any money yet. So we're going to take a quick look at this. Because CoffeeZilla's got some words for you, Logan Paul. So we're going to watch this together here. And then we can get to some Dauntless after. But let's check this thing out. Let's see this video.
A scam created by Logan Paul and a team of criminals. Oh, and a dude named Jeff, which ultimately resulted in millions of dollars being stolen from fans. I was threatened with a lawsuit for exposing it, but ultimately, Logan Paul decided to thank me instead.
I'm gonna sue you! How dare you say, actually, thank you for exposing me. I needed the accountability. You know you're super duper guilty when it's at the point where you're like, oh, I better like publicly thank the guy for showing me the bad things that were happening. Hey, Chameleon.
Undressing and announced a $1.8 million refund to the victims.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great ending to.
This is what we all thought. You're going to give $1.8 million back. Cool. So that was the plan. Logan Paul, you're a dirtbag. You stole a bunch of money. You're going to give it back because you don't want people to hate you. Good game.
The story. But I also said this. I'll follow up in the future to make sure that he actually gives that money away. And that's why we're here today. It's been 6 months, so here's a follow-up. Logan Paul has not paid back his victims.
Are we surprised? Is anyone surprised at all? Is this shocking to you? Logan Paul didn't give any of the money he stole back. Oh, did we really think that was gonna happen?
He hasn't talked about it since he first announced he was going to pay them back. And what's
Of
worst
course.
of all, he doesn't seem to have a plan in place to refund anyone. How do I know that? Well, because I've been asking Logan for that plan to refund people the entire time.
Of course he has, because this is somebody who's like, okay, cool, you're gonna take accountability. I'm gonna check on you. I'm gonna do it.
Behind the scenes in messages like these.
Here you go.
Quote, hey Logan, following up on the zoo refunds, when should people expect those? It's been about a month. And then a month later, following up again. People are wondering what's going on. Almost been 2 months. Very frustrating for victims to get promises and then see nothing and get zero communication.
Yeah, 2 months later, zero communicate. Frustrating? That's a word for it.
And then later, hey Logan, following up for a third time, it's been over 5 months since you promised to refund the victims of CryptoZoo over $3 million. I meant to say $1.8 million there. The price of crypto changed a lot, so what this buyback was going to be was constantly changing. I just misspoke there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Either way, my point was this, quote, you haven't contacted any of them, nor explained why you haven't done what you said you'd do. Meanwhile, you got public credit for promising to do this. Yeah,
right. Of course, everyone's like, okay, Logan Paul's not such a bad guy. You know, like, look, he's giving all this money back. He didn't know it was a scam. He must be innocent because he's giving it all back, right? Right? Yeah, only shocking how dumb he is. There's this great evidence against him. No kidding, right? Like, as we move forward, and there might be a trial for this kind of stuff, you know, this is legitimately a scam for basically millions of dollars. $1.8 million is basically $2 million. I mean, it's a lot closer to 2 than it is to 1. So come on. Just wow. Like, if this goes to trial, it's like, oh yeah, I could have given the money back, and then I just, like, got another pig. I'm not saying he did, but, like, come on. We all know that's the kind of choice he's going to make with his money.
And all of this, Logan didn't respond to, which is odd since he was such a fan of me reaching out to him personally.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Instead
There you
of
go.
making things public.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did reach out to you, and I got no response.
Oh my god, you're gonna call him out and be like, why didn't you reach out to me? Do you know how easy it's gonna be to reach out to Logan Paul instead of his manager? Do you seriously think in any world Logan Paul doesn't have like 600 layers of different people you have to talk to before you can get a hold of him unless you're already on his good books? Like, he doesn't want to talk to CoffeeZilla. How's he want to talk to CoffeeZilla? This guy's already, like, making sure he can't keep the millions of dollars he stole. Absolutely ridiculous.
In fact, the only response I got came on my 4th attempt to reach Logan.
Oh,
but this
4
one came
attempts.
from his criminal defense lawyers.
Yeah.
A guy named Jeffrey Neiman emailed
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to Logan Paul now. I only get his criminal defense lawyer. This guy's not looking any kind of innocent.
me after my 4th attempt saying, Steven, see inserted on behalf of Logan Paul.
Logan?
To be honest, I had no idea who Logan Paul was until I researched the lawyer and learned that he, quote, regularly defends individuals and corporations in white-collar criminal litigations. And that's when I realized,
Logan?
oh, that Logan Paul. Why didn't you just say you defended alleged white-collar criminals? Would have saved me a Google search. So I opened up the letter and it read, we represent Logan Paul. Mr. Paul has informed us of your outreach about the status of...
Okay, I'm sorry, Logan Paul. Like, you get something from this friggin' chump's lawyer. This absolute clown show is going on over there, and the lawyers are calling him Logan Paul because they can't even spell check their own emails.
The CryptoZoo buybacks. Mr. Paul remains committed to this process.
You're committed to it, but not in any way where he's going to do it.
We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal.
Give it back.
In the meantime, please direct to our attention any further inquiries to Mr. Paul. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, you look at the account that gave you X money, and you give it X money back. Done. Ugh. Oh my goodness, like, how dumb is this? Even if, like, it came through Kickstarter or whatever, somehow, I don't think it did, but if it did through one of these platforms, they have a function to give this money back.
Patience and understanding. Now, that might seem like a good step in the right direction to you. At least we got a response on behalf of Logan. But when I read their response carefully, I realized things were actually worse than I thought. Because 2 things are absent from this statement. 1, a timeline for refund.
Like, oh yeah, we're working on, yeah, okay. Someday, in some universe, maybe if you look hard enough, you might find out we probably gave some money back, maybe?
And 2, a plan for refund.
Right?
I mean, you have this abominable statement which says, we are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal.
I love it.
So you're still at the whiteboard then?
Yeah, like, we could be making sandwiches and talking about this right now for what that says.
Guys, this is a statement you say when you have no plan or you're stalling, right? You say, we're evaluating the best options. I mean, that's where Logan was back in January. He was evaluating. Am I supposed to believe 6 months later, you guys haven't figured this out? You've gathered all the boys in the office, brainstorming every
Impulsive! Dear God.
single day. How do we refund people? And you don't know? I mean, listen,
right?
He had more of a plan, Logan did, back in January. I'm not even sure what there is to even still figure out because way back then, January 16th, he said, I've committed more than 1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed. Players will be able to burn their base eggs and base animals for their mint price. I mean, there it is. That's the plan. Pay a blockchain dev to code that up and pay the victims their money. That's it.
That's it.
But we see absolutely no sign of that. And it's not for a lack of Logan having the cash. He's on a world tour for Prime right now, bragging about how much...
I'm sorry, hold on a sec.
Having the cash. He's on a world tour.
Logan Paul's freaking face, man. Just like, hey, I robbed you. Oh, man.
For Prime right now, bragging about how much money his drink company is making.
Oh yeah, did you see that a lot of Prime energy drinks are maybe going to get banned for having way too much caffeine for kids? Did you see this? He might be in trouble for his Prime drinks too, because it's like way too much caffeine for children.
In January of this year, we did 45 million.
Oh, wow. Only in January?
Yeah.
Wow, 45 million is a good month. Also, January happens to be the same month Logan promised those CryptoZoo refunds.
Right? Yo, we made 45 million on this drink, but like, no, CryptoZoo refunds. We got to talk about this. We got to like figure out the best way to do this. We got to like discuss, yo, have you heard about my energy drink?
So there's no good explanation for why Logan hasn't
None.
refunded his victims yet.
None.
Because he had a plan back in January. He had the money. But there's even less of a good explanation for why he hasn't explained himself for the delay to either me privately or to the victims publicly.
When refund? When refund?
Around.
Look at this. When refund? Refund us. Send refunds. When refund? Hey, where do I refund my egg? When refund? Yo, give me my goddamn refund. This is not good. This is bad.
4 months with no word about the status.
This is bad. These are new. These are, you know, oh my god. Refund and burn. Unbelievable 3 months you did nothing. Refund. Most of us want refund and get out. 100. Yep. Wow.
Promised refund. Now, eventually, I do believe
refund
Logan will address this. I think he has to. And when he does, I think he'll probably point to a lawsuit that he's in for the reason he couldn't speak. He had to be silent. Only.
Okay, no, that could be very, very real and legitimate. Like, I still don't understand why he wouldn't just give the money back right away, forget the lawsuit, because if you do it, then probably most of the lawsuit goes away. I could be wrong, but like...
He's tried this before, and it didn't make a lot of sense then either.
I had to rely on my team.
Uh-huh.
I crumbled internally.
Yep.
And the advice was, while actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place that CoffeeZilla highlighted in his series, I had to stay silent. And for a year, I'm hounding Jeff. Hounding Jeff. How do we make this right?
All right, let's.
And you can't even say that in like one tweet or something? You can't even be like, I acknowledge you haven't got your money back yet. It's not been forgotten. You can't even say that? Bro.
Let's get this straight. Logan was dying to make CryptoZoo right the first time, but was legally required to be silent until a YouTuber talked about it? Did the judge magically unseal his lips when my video dropped? I'm confused. He's not prevented from explaining himself, and he's certainly not legally prevented from giving people their money back. Even if you want to argue the point that maybe...
Yeah, the judge is like, don't you dare give people their money back. I don't think that any judge ever said that, ever.
Logan might look more guilty if he promises to pay victims. Well, sure, but he already did that, though. He said he felt so bad that he was going to refund $1.8 million to the affected people who invested.
Yeah, there it is.
Actually delivering that promise doesn't add any layer of admission to that guilt.
No, exactly. So if he went ahead and actually paid that, it just makes you look better, not worse.
He already said he was responsible. At this point, refunding people is just doing what he said he was going to do.
There it is.
Beginning.
No more guilt.
I think the real reason Logan
just the same.
hasn't paid, if I...
The same amount of guilt.
I had to guess, It's just because either he does not want to pay, he cannot be bothered to pay on time,
Yep.
or he's just stalling. All of which are unacceptable. Because let me remind you of his promise. Quote, I have committed more than 1.
Yeah, he keeps showing this, but he's not wrong to do it. He's not wrong to do it because he made this promise. He made this commitment. Where's the money for people? Just pay it back. Just give them the money. And, like, seriously, this whole thing doesn't matter so much anymore because it looks like, oh, well, you know, he acted in good faith. At this point, it's like pulling teeth. And it really doesn't seem like good faith anymore at this point. If people even do get their money back, they're going to be like, well, good, dick.
$8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed.
It'll never be complete. Seriously. That's some of the worst vaporware I've ever seen.
And the people are tired of waiting, including me. After months of trying to work behind the scenes and ask questions behind the scenes privately to him, I'm just out of ideas. And I'm stuck trying to speak to Logan in the only language I believe he understands. Self-interest.
Oh, you're not gonna miss him there, are you? Yo, Logan, your balls are on the line, man. Talk to me.
Logan, if I could speak to you for a second. Okay, bring in the camera. This isn't worth your time. Getting publicly flogged like this every 6 months? What are we going to be doing this in a year? No. Okay? It's not worth your time. It's barely worth my time.
Seems sincere.
Just please pay the people back what you owe. Give them a real timeline, a real plan, and then we can all go back to pretending you've changed.
Like, for real. Like, I'm Logan Paul. I'm a millionaire, and I got all this money, and I make $4 to $5 million in prime energy drinks, and I don't know how to give money, though. Like, I could only know how to make it. I gotta, like, talk to my team. My team knows. Oh, my goodness. Like, you got a house, you got a car, you got all the stuff, you Flash, man. You know how to use money, too. Don't play games. Don't play games.
Timeline, a real plan, and then we can all go back to pretending you've changed.
Oh, and that was the end of it there. Okay. That was the end of it there. Okay, so, yeah, for real, I'm gonna have to say, like, who's impressed with Logan Paul right now? 6 months later, and he's not even paid a bit of that money back. Has no plan to pay the money back. Has not talked to anybody about anything about it. I gotta say, Logan Paul, you're not looking like a real king here. This is not king moves. Like, you're calling yourself an influencer, and you're kind of influencing people to be completely terrible human beings. Like, what are you trying to tell the kids right now? Like, the best thing that you can possibly do is set up scams and rob people? Charge way too much for energy drinks? Straight up set up NFT scams and just take money from people? Promise to make a game that you never ever actually intend to make, and then, like, when you get called on it, be like, oh, I'll be good, apology video, clout video, and then just never do anything? Like, bro. Like, who the hell do you think you are, man? Just give the money back. Give the money back. You got caught. You suck. Give the money back. Dude's a douche hammer. Logan Paul, king of being an idiot. Meh to him.
I come flexing with style and mad skills, like my name was Eternal Dragons, game playing builds. So come get your fill, cause you paying the bill. The conflict's critical, situation real. I'm a pop, I'm let it rock, those mark, old school 360 like an Xbox, make it hot. What you got, gonna give me a ride? I'ma watch my watch as I watch you fly. Slowing down my lyrics for a minute.